Mexico to live with them. They were like brothers. The boys finished hitching the team and saddling their horses. Ted slipped a lead rope on his father's buckskin and tied him to the back of the wagon. They pulled the wagon with their riding horses tied behind down the street to the hotel so things would be ready to go after the funeral service. Ted was worried about his mother. Mary hadn't left her hotel room since right after the shooting. Ted's younger sister, Marilyn, had carried her mother's food up to the room and seen to her every need. His sister seemed to be taking her father's death better than any of the rest of them, at least outwardly. She was the one who kept her feelings shuttered inside more than the rest of the Littlejohn family. At 12, she looked and acted much older, and he often thought of her as his older sister. Sally was another matter. She remained quiet and moody since her papa's death. She had been especially close to her father. The Reverend Hensley told Tad that the loss of a parent was especially hard on someone only 4 years old. Well, it was hard on someone 14 years old, too. But he was older, more man than most men, as Papa often said of him, and he was supposed to understand death. Well, then why didn't he? He didn't understand why Papa got sick with whatever it was that the doctor said was eating away his insides. He didn't understand why that no-good backshooter killed his father. He didn't understand any of it. All he understood was that Buck Slade must pay for what he did. No matter what, he had to pay. Tad and Lupe sat on the top step in front of the hotel, not talking, just sitting there, both lost in their own thoughts. "Looks like folks are starting to gather over at the church," Tad finally said. "Reckon we'd best get up to the room and put on our clothes for the funeral." Pushing to their feet, they entered the hotel and climbed the stairs to the rooms that the sheriff arranged for the family to use. Marilyn had picked out funeral clothes for the whole family down at Mr. Stubblefield's store. She bought black broadcloth suits for both Tad and Lupe. She laid them out on the bed. Neither Tad nor Lupe ever owned a real suit before. They both dressed in the unfamiliar-feeling clothes and went down to the lobby to wait for Mary and the girls. It hurt his heart when he saw his mother coming down the stairs. She was dressed in a solid black dress. Even through the thin black veil that covered her face, he could see that her eyes were red and bloodshot from crying. Tad never saw his mother look so tired. Both Marilyn and Sally wore dark blue dresses. Sally clung tightly to her older sister's hand as they walked side by side. Sheriff Paxton was waiting outside on the boardwalk when they all walked out. He walked with the family to the church. The church house was packed. When they entered, Reverend Hensley asked the congregation to stand. The front bench was reserved for the Littlejohn family. Tad only half listened as the audience sang Amazing Grace. After the song ended, Reverend Hensley stood and walked slowly to the pulpit. He opened his Bible and began to read. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever." Friends and neighbors, we come today on this sad occasion to pay our final respects to one of our own who has departed this life. T.J. Littlejohn was a good man, a devoted husband, a loving father, a helpful neighbor, and a good friend. He was one of us.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.